Welcome to Music and Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Moshe Lewis. Really excited to be joined today by my co-host, Kathleen Bradley. How are you, young lady?
I am well, thank you, Dr. Moshe Lewis. And I must say real quick, I have had the opportunity to look at some of your shows you did, Music and Medicine, prior to me being your co-host. And I am really quite impressed. You've had such a wonderful roster of entertainers and actors and songwriters and different people. And I just want to let the people know, if you get an opportunity, please go look online and find us on YouTube. And there's so many wonderful shows and interviews that you've done. And I'm just very proud to be here with you. And thank you for having me as your co-host.
Sure. Well, absolutely. It only gets better with you being here. And of course, the talent getting to be phenomenal. Today, we have one amazing young lady with us, Kendra Erika. And there are so many reasons why we want to have you on. Besides the fact you're working with Edna, who we love, my daughter is named Kendra, which you wouldn't have known.
Oh.
And our show, which you may have heard the name now since she mentioned it, is called Music and Medicine. There doesn't seem to be a better fit with some of your background because obviously you're tremendously interested in music. But I also remember mentioning that you had said that with respect to music, you sort of learned how to pick up tone. Talk to us about that process in becoming an independent artist.
Well, it's so kismet because I was in the hot tub last night and I came up with this quote that said, as an artist, you need to have a nutritional value. And being that I'm on Music and Medicine today, I mean, the foresight that I had, it was just, surreal. So, but back to your question on tone, I was born tone deaf. Everything that I sang was atonal, was monotonous. I couldn't really hear a note. I couldn't correlate it with anything. I couldn't match it until around 8 years old. I was introduced to a professional German opera singer who really broke me down to build me back up. He was quite strict, and he built this foundation for me to build upon. And the fundamental and classical training was just so primitive to the development of who I am today.
Wow. Yeah, simply amazing. Talk to us about this process because so many of us hear about how complicated it is to be an independent artist. And you may have caught some of the last interview where we're talking to somebody who's been in the industry a very long time. And so you've definitely been able to achieve some incredible strides with topping Billboard chart with your music. Just talk to us or share just a few secrets, I know you can't share them all, of what it really has taken to really basically come into your own as an artist independently.
As an independent artist, you need to learn how to swim upstream because you're not going with the mainstream, you're swimming upstream. And I think if you're swimming upstream, you're going to build some more muscle than by going just having the current push you. So being an independent artist, I have had to go against the grain, push envelopes when need be, not be afraid to use my voice musically and also vocally or oratively as much as possible, and also just stand my ground and be true to who I am, because in an industry that has been awarded so many that have been within the cookie cutters, there's a paradigm shift now, and independents are taking more center stage, because as an independent artist, and in order to be timeless, you have to go against the grain, and you kind of have to be a history maker instead of a cookie baker.
I like
That's well put. And congratulations, first of all, on all of your success.
Thank
Your
you.
videos, I've looked at them and heard your song, and being progressively climbing some of the charts, so to speak, and getting all of the accolades from the internet and social media. That's
Thank you.
quite a feat, and I really want to congratulate you. Now, have you been responsible for writing most of your material, and where do you draw that from, if so?
Yes, most of my Billboard top 10 hits have been original, aside from Self-Control, which was a remake from Laura Branigan's back in the 80s. But I have penned my songs. I feel like that's where you're very participatory in your art and in your creations. And where I pull from is from experience, from my viewpoints on social topics, political topics, spiritual topics, and I always make it a point to have a very philosophical conversation with whomever I'm working with in that moment, the producers, the songwriters, because when we're operating from that obligatory place of we need to operate within these four walls, like we can't offend this person, we can't offend that person, that's when we're not true to ourselves. But it's all about in how you pen it, how you sing it, and how you stylize it. And you can be effective artistically and lyrically by being true to yourself, but by also being not so much considerate, but it's in the art is really in the delivery of how you do it.
That is very true, and you do it very well. I like how you put that, and I know that you've recently or at some point did a song with Ralph Johnson
I
from Earth, Wind,
did,
and Fire.
yes.
He's a good friend. How did you come about getting with him and the other fellow that was on that song to collaborate for that record?
When it came to deciding a jazz track that I wanted to do, I wanted to remake Witchcraft by Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra has been, as they call in today's vernacular or slang, spirit animal of mine. He's always been a great inspiration, but when I wanted to do a remake of Witchcraft, I really do think that the alignment was Ralph Johnson coming into the fold and into the project and bringing in Myron McKinley as well to help orchestrate and to really put this all together. And I think it came out very spellbindingly.
I
Yeah.
love the way you use words. Um, Music for you, at least to the extent that I've studied your career, has really been a platform for you to express yourself and to bring out your voice. What's that message that you want your audience to most hear? If you could just state what that was and you couldn't sing it, what do you want them most to hear?
Funny enough, I want them to hear the tone because I built that tone, being that I was tone deaf. I'm no longer tone deaf, and there's a tone there, and it's a tone that rings clear and that cuts through the dimensions that are that kind of put us in question of who we are.
Sure. If you don't mind,
Yeah.
introduce yourself again and tell us about the song that we're going to hear you sing.
Hi, my name is Kendra Erika. I'm a #1 Billboard recording artist, and this is my latest song, Body Language. And I wrote it with Alice Mia and Marvin Bousseau. And it is about a form of communication that is so underrated in our world today, be it friendships, relationships, or any sort of dynamic that we're dealing with. And for someone who wants to enjoy it more on a surfacey level, body language can also mean how you're moving on the dance floor and just moving whether you're working out or just on the move itself. Your body is always talking.
Well, a pleasure to have you again. Thanks to Edna to help introduce us to you. And I really also enjoyed listening to your music as well. And the number of views that you have on YouTube continue to climb, and we wish you continued success and
Thank you.
certainly appreciate you giving us time today. We look forward to hearing you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.